Hopefully we're back and everything is cool. Because if not, I'm going to get real upset. No, it's frustrating. Man, I get why streaming is so intimidating to some people. Because I don't consider myself like tech ignorant or anything, you know? I definitely. Okay, looks like we're still good. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I think you can. But yeah, I get tech, but sometimes it's just like the applications, like this Melon app thing, man. Like I gotta like spend a few minutes looking over it to see if it's worth switching from StreamYard, because it didn't seem very intuitive. That's frustrating. Anyways, let's not be frustrated. Hello, class. Hello. Good day. Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for tuning in, all y'all. I appreciate it. It has been some time. Yeah, I've been really busy with Sci-Vive, which is great. Other than Sci-Vive, obviously, like celebrating these last few days. Sorry, give me a second again, being a conscious driver. Okay. So, Hex, 3rd birthday! Oh my gosh, you guys, what an awesome community. What an amazing adventure. We had a blast. I just cannot say enough good things about Kaylin, Black Hexican, especially. I mean, she just knows how to just kick everything up a notch and have an amazing party. So we all celebrated a ton. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of like if I had like a favorite part, or also like AMA, y'all. Like if you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask. I can see the chat. I can glance real quick. So, recovered from the yacht party. Yeah, you know, I did not. I did well. I usually try to pace myself when I do partake in spirits and alcohol and all that. So I did pretty good on the yacht party. I did not get white girl wasted. I danced a lot though. That was really cool. I was excited for that day in general because it was the yacht party in the day, and then in the evening we were going out to a club to go dance. And if you all know me at all, you know I love dancing. And it always like makes my heart happy to talk about that, because Crypto Kool-Aid is who got me into the community. And if you all know anything about Crypto Kool-Aid, you know he loves to dance. So that's one awesome thing that I really do also love that about our community. There are some good dancers in our community, and we all just kind of like love to. You can put on almost any genre of music and Hexicans will be dancing. It's really awesome. So I had a great time on the yacht, danced a bunch. I can't wait to see the pictures. I didn't take many at all, but there was, especially at one point, almost right when we got on the yacht, there was a group of like 5 or 6 of us women like up on this like loungy area. It's where we took the big group photo, if you guys have seen that. But yeah, before that there was just like a few ladies, and like a few of the guys would come up and like sit in between us and take turns taking pictures, and that was really sweet. So if you see this and you have these pictures, or you have any pictures of me, please send them to my way, because I would love to see them. The yacht was, I've been on a yacht before once, and that was fun, but this had a whole different vibe to it. It was like I felt so, and I know I'm not the only one that was on this yacht having this feeling, because I had this conversation with several different people. Let me know also if you guys can still hear me all right, because now I know that there's like car noise, so I'm a little worried about that, but hopefully this microphone is picking me up good still. So, you know, like as you're just kind of cruising along in this, it was like a marina basically in San Diego, and we were cruising past these big like carrier ships, right? Like big old Navy carrier ships. And I just had this moment of awe. And it was several things at once. It was like I was in awe at the size of this huge, you know, aircraft carrier ship. And then I was in awe that I'm on a yacht. Just that alone, right, just feels amazing. And then that I'm surrounded by people who are brilliant and caring and kind and generous. It was like this wave of ooey gooey wonderfulness just kept washing over me. And I felt so grateful that whole time. Like, it wasn't, it's interesting because I don't think about this, but it's like I wonder what other people, how they view it, right? Like, here's all these people hanging out on a yacht, having a good time. But that's not even really what it was about, right? Like, yeah, of course we're celebrating Hex's 3rd birthday. We're partying, right? But it wasn't like it to me, almost anytime I'm in a space with Hexicans and we're partying, it's not the mindless, get lost in yourself or your drink kind of partying. It's like a conscious uplifting of energy and space. Like, I very rarely ever feel those low level vibes, right? Even though we are, when you consume alcohol, and I do, I believe in energy levels and things like that. So I do think that it can, bring the energy down. But just the fact that we really do have so much to celebrate and that we really genuinely care about one another in this community, it just, again, like I kind of got the chills. Like, I got goosebumps just being there, just being a part of this whole thing. Like, I actually wanted to start streaming because I was driving. Sorry, this car is like, they've got somewhere to be. They're real important. I was driving away from San Diego and I legit started crying. Like, I just had tears in my eyes. Give me a second. Oh my audio is good. I love you too, Georgia. Good to see you. Okay, thanks. I'm glad I sound good. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I just became overwhelmed with joy and gratitude and happiness. Like, there's coming from where I was a year ago in my life and seeing where I'm at now. And I think that was the conversation that happened a few times, was that we just get to be here. Like I talked to 2 or 3 different people and all of us just had this awe, like none of it is being taken for granted. I think that's another good thing to point out, right? It's not like we're just like, oh, like, yeah, party, like, standard, like, no big deal. No, like, everyone there was genuinely appreciative of where we're at physically at the time, right? In that time and space, who we're around, where we're at. Also, I think on a grander scale or a grander level in terms of, all the junk that's happening with the crypto world right now and how we're not affected. Hex users unaffected. 3 years, flawless operation, 100% uptime. And coming from having a background in working for video games, that doesn't happen. You don't get software that runs flawlessly for 3 years. No hacks, no bugs, no bugs. What? Like, that's just like, it's so unheard of in the software world. And I think I don't think people realize that. I don't think a lot of people realize like what that means for Hex and like what a great product it is. So thank you, Richard Hart, for making Hex. Happy birthday to Hex, 3-year anniversary. What a trip. Georgia, I'm surprised I didn't see you, by the way. You do not live far. Why weren't you in San Diego, girlfriend? I missed you. Also, I'm still in LA, so I'll be here for a few days. Let's get lunch, at the very least, if you're still watching. If not, I'll hit you up later. But I guess I'll just kind of go over how the week went and the things that I did. What was first? So we got in the days all kind of like random, like got screwed up in my brain. So today's Sunday. So yesterday was those things. Friday, Thursday. So Thursday was Kaylin's birthday, and we went out to dinner, and that was lovely. I had lamb. It was delicious. And that was a lot of fun, just getting to see her kind of like while out and have a grand old time and celebrate herself, which so much deserved of all that partying. What an awesome human to celebrate Black Hexicans. You are a gem, wonderful woman. I'm so glad to have gotten to know you a little bit better too, and to get to celebrate with you, and looking forward to everything that's coming up in this next year. I can't wait. Like, every time I get to hang out with you and talk to you, I'm more and more just like, yes, let's do these things. Like, let's partner together and like get some shit done in this universe, because it's exciting, when any community solidifies and comes together, it's amazing. But I love the women in this community, and I've said that over and over again. And it's especially been important to me because I have not had a lot of great women role models in my life, especially when it comes to finances. My mom and my sister and my niece, like, they're all about name brand things, and not that that's a bad thing, right? Like, I've come to the point in my life now where I will spend money on something, brand name or not, on something that's going to last, right? Like, if it's high quality, that's where my money will go. If I know I'm going to keep it for a long time and it's what I need and it's going to last forever, then good. But to buy something just because it has, a brand on it, or to buy, better yet, let me forget all the brand stuff. To buy shit you don't have money for. You don't have money. Why? Why do you do this? Like, they're all in debt. They've been in debt for years. And that's how we grew up. Like, I grew up going to like Nordstrom's and JCPenney's because, like, my mom, that's all my mom wanted to do was go shopping. And like, put me in the cutest dresses and all this stuff. And I was never into it. I never liked shopping. And then as I got older, I saw that money was a big point of contention between my parents, who eventually got divorced. Sorry, I got tripped out for a second. Right, so they eventually got divorced, and I think money was a huge part of it. I think that was a really big reason why their marriage didn't last. So to have amazing women around me who are brilliant, they're taking care of themselves, a lot of them taking care of their families as well, and they're financially just knowledgeable, right? And have taken the initiative, right, to know what they're doing with their money, to know where their money is going. That is great. It's just a really great feeling to be around other well-equipped women, right? Like, I don't know how else to say it. I'm just looking. Let's make it a tradition. So, Robert Online, if you're still here, there is going to be a cruise. Forget the yachts, bruh. We got a whole cruise ship. All right. So, end of April. I got to look at the dates again because I've talked about this a few times to just remember and to spread the word. But I believe it's the end of April. As far as what I've learned, there are no anythings, like, you don't need to show a card or have a thing or any of that anymore. So that all that restriction's been lifted. We're going to the Bahamas, which now it's like even more of a I don't know, like a cryptocation, because it's gonna be like, oh, like, going to the Bahamas, right? Can we see where SBF was living? Like, go on a little tour of where these things went down. But we're gonna make it our own. We're gonna have a great time. So yeah, Robert, if you have not heard about that yet, I believe ksb.tv is where you're gonna get the information on the HEX cruise. And yeah, I'm super looking forward to that. I was actually just talking about it because we were driving out. I was driving to the airport and saw a huge Disney cruise ship. And I've never been on a cruise. I've not once have been on a cruise ship. So I am really excited. It was just like, it was really cool to see like how gigantic this cruise ship was. you know, I just thought about how fun it's going to be hanging out with a bunch of Hexicans for like a week on a cruise. I mean, that was just 3 days, you know, and like, you know, event after event, but it's gonna be great. All right, so back to the birthday party. So dinner was amazing. Everyone had a great time, and then that evening that evening was like the big free meetup. So anyone who wanted to come, it was an not open bar, but like, you know, the bar was open to anyone who wanted to come hang out. And it was just at the Hard Rock Hotel, which is where most of us stayed. So it was nice. It was really cool. I got to meet some new people I had never met before. Those kinds of events, you guys, I know I talk about gratitude a lot, and I get floored when I go to bigger events nowadays, because, you know, even though I'm a very like down the rabbit hole, you kind of have to know who Richard is to find my content. I don't have a huge following, which is kind of fine with me, honestly. Like, I do what I do because I want to promote Sci-Vibe and I want to promote Richard, so people should be following him and not me. But when people come up to me who say they know me and I've never met them, right? Like, that's a whole new world of, I don't know what to call it. And the crazy thing to me is that I'm an extrovert. So I love people. I'm a social butterfly all my life. That's how I've been. But there's some other level of interaction where this is involved, right? What I was just describing with, you know, people knowing who I am and me not knowing them. And it can be overwhelming. I think that's the best word for me. It doesn't bother me. Like, I don't really feel anxious or upset, but I shake. It doesn't happen often, but that night it did, you know, because I just had like a few people I never met coming up to me and talking to me and thanking me, which, you know, that always, like, of course, you know, I love hearing that kind of stuff, but it's also just like, oh man, like what did I do? Like, silly old me, like, you know, you're thanking me. That's, you know, but not to brush it off, because that really does mean a lot to me when I hear that, and makes up for, you know, the hate that happens sometimes, which is so silly. Like, I don't know, I don't get it. But a lot of content creators I've heard kind of echo this, is you can have 10,000 comments of praise, and that one person who's gonna tell you how ridiculous you looked, or, you know, how they didn't like this or that, that's what usually sticks with you. And it's unfortunate that we're kind of wired that way for that to happen. But yeah, it kind of catches me off guard when I'm in a situation where I'm hanging out, everyone's doing fine, and like I'm being extroverted, but I still get this, like, these jitters, right? Because I think that a better term than anything is just to say that it is a little overwhelming. But that's not going to stop me from going out and hanging out with everyone. And it was really awesome to meet the people that I did. I had some great conversations that evening. I love seeing other people have fun too. So just, you know, taking a step back during the night and like looking around at everyone just having a blast. It's heartwarming, right? Like, it's really cool to see us show up as a community, to be there for one another, to, you know, some people like drove a couple hours just to hang out that night. I think someone even like flew in just to hang out that night. Like, that kind of stuff happens in our community. And it just goes to show, you know, just part of like why I like bringing this up, is like, this is we're like in the pit of a bear market, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know a thing about fuck, right? In terms of like, I mean, I pay attention to it, and mostly listening to people like Richard, right? Like, we may be at the bottom, we may not, but it's a bear market. It's my first bear market, and the solidity, I don't know if that's the right word, but like how the foundation that we have in this market right now, and we're here and we're this solid group of people, and yeah, there's infighting, and yeah, there's drama, and yeah, there's all that, right? But we have all known for months now that a lot of that is bottom signals, right? Like everyone's like, oh, bottom's in, like this person did this, and you know, these people are infighting and whatever. But that's, you know, now we know that's just gonna happen, right? Every bear market, it'll probably happen every bear market. It probably does already. Like, you know, like I said, it's my first one, so I'm just going through this right now. But despite all that junk, you know, there are such a huge number of content creators that are just continually putting amazing content out. And none of that drama, none of what's going on in the cryptoverse outside of our little bubble, none of it has affected, you know, there's a better word that I can't think of. You know, it's not going to crumble our family. Like nothing can shake us out enough. You know, the people that are getting shaken out, they got papery lettuce hands. So bye, get out of here with your papery lettuce hands. We don't need you. Or your papery lettuce convictions, right? I think conviction was the word I was looking for. You know, if you don't understand what a T-share is and what HEX is and what you hold and the reason for staking, then you're not going to be here very long, because that's what it's all about. It really is. And to have that kind of conviction and to know what you hold and to not let the outside drama or the FUD from, you know, whatever other, I don't even want to vocalize a lot of that stuff because there's already too much about it, and that's not what I'm about. So all that to say that I think it is so beautiful that we have such a large number of content creators that are so convicted in what they believe and what we hold and what we're doing. And there's no reason for us to stop. And I don't know if I got to say this when my audio was breaking up, but that's an even better reason for you to start streaming today. If you haven't and you want to, you should do it. You should. And if you have questions and you happen to be watching me at any point in time, please feel free to DM me. Like I would gladly set up like a little StreamYard stream with you to get you comfortable with putting the camera on, figuring out what buttons you need to push. Like I would love to do that. That was part of the reason why I started the stream that I was doing called Woman Crush Wednesday, because I wanted to empower other women to make sure that they had a space to come and talk about whatever they wanted to in terms of crypto and be able to do this kind of streaming. If they hadn't had a platform before, or they hadn't had a space to come up and, you know, be welcomed and be like, hey, you can do this. But again, that goes for anybody. You know, I don't discriminate in any way, shape, or form. Give me a second. A cruise. Yeah, Robert, check out the cruise. Thank you for the comment about the smiles. I appreciate that a lot. Aw, that's so sweet. Hey, Sweaty, how's it going? Yeah, and Georgia, I'm sorry to hear you're not feeling well. I hope you feel better soon. But that's a huge compliment, especially being put up there next to Hexo. Hexo does have a great smile. I remember on one of his last streams, I think it was the stream where they announced that they're having another baby, and I heard Hexo laughing. I was just like, I hope this baby has your laugh, because he's got such a great laugh too. Yes. All right. So that was day one. We did the birthday dinner, and then we did the hanging out at the hotel bar. Both amazing events, totally awesome, real wonderful. And then day two was the yacht party and the club. So, oh yeah, I was talking about this a little bit earlier, but the yacht party, it was phenomenal. It was really just like a whole other world. You know, it's those moments. It's those moments when you're on a yacht and you're drinking champagne. When you think to yourself, I did good. I did real good to get myself here, and not, and I was trying to, hold on, let me, and I mean that in a greater sense too, right? Like, not necessarily that I was able to, basically, like, if you would have told me a year ago I'd be on a yacht drinking champagne, I wouldn't have dismissed it, but I would have been like, I don't know, how's that happen? And again, and I mentioned this earlier when I was talking about just the cruise and everything that happened and how fun it was. The people that I'm surrounded with, that to me, like, we could be almost anywhere, honestly. We could be on a kayak paddling trip or something silly like that, like, but to be surrounded by these people who are all Hexicans, they all have the same convictions, and it's not like, I think one of the reasons why we're such a solid community, why we're growing, and why, it's like you can't stop this snowball that's going, is that it's the long-term mindset, right? So for sure, like, I think that it takes a certain type of person to be able to say, yes, I'm going to lock these funds away, let them stay there, not think about it, not touch it, and just have faith, right? That, or not just have faith, but to rest assured, right? Like, we can all rest assured because HEX is flawless for 3 years. So the mentality financially, it kind of lends itself to this mentality of wellness, because we want to be there in 15 years when our big stakes end, or whatever it is that however long you staked your HEX for, right? You're saying, yeah, I'm in this for this amount of time, and while I'm waiting, hey, guess what? My HEX is making a yield every day. Not financial advice. I feel like I have to say that now just in case. But yeah, we're just a big group of people who care about one another, who care about what we hold, who care about people in general, right? Because, like, Richard can't yell loud enough, not your keys, not your coins, and that's something that we echo, right? We echo that over and over again. We hear from Richard a lot of his brilliance and his genius and how right he is, right? And we take that message and we spread it. And we do that because we don't want to see everyone get wrecked. We don't. Like, I know that there was some, this happens, right? Of course, like, in every community, there's going to be people who maybe have the wrong spin on it or whatever, right? Like, I'm sure there's people who have bloated and just, like, been like, oh, like, sucks that you're wrecked, right? But really, we need to hold ourselves to a higher standard, maybe, in a way, so that we are the ones that are like, hey man, like, that sucks, you're wrecked, but let me show you the way, right? HEX is the way. So let me show you, how you have custody of your own wallet, how to make sure that you have your own seed phrase so that only you can access your money, no one else, right? Like Richard says, stop sucking middleman D. And that's what DeFi is all about. And that's, like, kind of circling back to, that's why I love this community so much, because we have this long-term mindset. We care about other people. We want to see other people succeed. We want to see other people win. And we also, I feel like, have so much to look forward to. I think that's it too. I think that's a big part of it, is that, there are people who are so upset about their money, their losses, win pulse chain, win this, win that, but maybe they didn't come into this community with the right mindset. Maybe they over leveraged, right? Maybe maybe they didn't, take the right steps. But the people who did, the people who came into this community and knew, like, hey, I'm just holding all this for years. It's, I'm a little spacey right now. I just keep wanting to talk about the community, which is really, like, I care so much about these people. I can't, you guys, Larry, Kool-Aid Man, Kool-Aid the man. He's like my big brother, and he takes such good care of me. I just had this flashback to the third day. So all right, let me rewind. Yacht party, awesome. Had a great time. Danced my butt off. Danced on the yacht. That was the coolest thing, is that I forgot that, like, music is a thing on a yacht. So we had a sweet little dance floor going on the yacht for at least an hour. There were people shaking their groove things. So that was really fun. And then that evening, there's a nightclub called Park. Sorry, the bubbles. I burped. And the DJ, because I love dancing, right? So I wanted to know who the DJ was, what kind of music there was going to be. And it turned out to be Brandy. I think her name was Brandy. Brandy Cyrus, who, lo and behold, is Miley Cyrus's older sister. So that was a trip. I got there late. I actually ended up taking a nap. So I didn't get to see, there are videos, but I know that at certain points throughout the evening, they threw, like, the HEX logo up on the screen. There was bottle service going on, and we were all in the front. Like, we had the entire front section in front of the DJ, and then on both sides, rented out for HEX. So we were just making a scene. Like, it was great. And that's really, that's a really cool way to kind of spread more awareness. Like, oh, who are these people? Why do they all have these logos? Like, what is going on here? Probably not the best or most efficient, but if you're gonna go out and party and have a good time, like, I think we do it right. We do it well, because we're loud about it and we're happy, like, and for the most part, no one's really making an ass of themselves or being a jerk, or, like, it's, on that note, the guys on the yacht that were running the yacht party said many things to that effect. They were like, you guys are, like, I don't remember how they said it, and I heard different people say different things like this throughout the course of the yacht party, but just that we were very mature, He was like, yeah, you guys aren't, like, being reckless. In fact, they allowed a couple people to jump off of the yacht. These crazy kids jumped off the yacht and got in the water. But they allowed the yacht people allowed us to do that because we were just being responsible and, like, pretty freaking chill. So that was awesome. Dance club was awesome. I got there late, but danced for a good hour. And so Brandy, her musical selection was good, but her transitions they left something to be desired. And coming from someone who's gone out to clubs for the last 10 years and listened to many a DJ, I think I have a right to talk some smack. Yeah, Brandy Cyrus. It's all right though. Had a good time. Let's see. Give me a second. RH takes the D out of DeFi. That's pretty funny. Sweet. Yeah, I'm kind of, like, trying to, like, spot read things because obviously I'm being safe. But yeah, love it. Love the sentiment. Really glad to just be here and be a part of everything. What else? So that was the second day. That was the cruise and the nightclub. And then the third day, we did a pool party, and that was super fun. Rented out some cabanas, and we had, like, some food and a little open bar. Really, I think one thing that I really took away from this was just everything was just real classy. you know, like, and not just the setup or the atmosphere, but the people. Like, we're just a classy bunch of folks, you know. It was a blast. I unfortunately went real hard real quick. I ended up, the girl behind the bar, who I gave a HEX card to and my email address, and she seemed interested. She was like, I don't really know much about crypto, but I'm willing to learn. That's the most important part, right? Is someone who maybe has a little bit of interest and is willing to learn. So I really hope she reaches out to me. I gave her my email, gave her a card, told her to, hit me up anytime if she's got questions about it. But where I was going with that is she was real heavy-handed on the drinks. And I'm not blaming her at all, because it's my own damn fault. But I ended up getting a little sick. I got a little sick. I had a great time. I think I was fine for like most of the time. And then I got in the hot tub. That's where it went awry for me. Is I went in the hot tub for a little bit too long, and I get overheated easily anyways. So to couple the hot tub overheating with when you drink, I think this is true. I think when you drink, your body temperature rises. I could be crazy, and that could just be like a mental thing. But either way, it was like hot on hot, and then all of a sudden I hadn't eaten anything. So it was hot, empty stomach, champagne sick. But that's why I was like just praising Kool-Aid earlier, because my sweet friend just like, hey, he saw me hurting and came over and was like, okay, sweetheart, let's go. Just like help me get out of there safely. And I recovered enough and recovered in enough time to get to the comedy show, which was awesome, y'all. We got to see Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. And I've seen Dave once before. I saw him in Austin. Great show. Chris Rock blew me away, though. Oh, he was fantastic. Like, I haven't, like, I know him, but I haven't spent much time watching his own stand-up or, much of what he does. But he was hilarious. He was on it. But yeah, love them both. Dave's just, I really think Dave Chappelle is before his time. Like, he has been one of my favorite comedians for years. And I just the Chappelle Show, y'all. It's just hilarious. If you've never watched the Chappelle Show, please do yourself a favor. Go back. Go back and watch it. Because he's just so silly. It's so good. Let me think. Let's see. Alcohol dehydration. Yeah, dehydration too. I also was not, double dehydration, and was not drinking enough water. That's my biggest thing. Usually if I can drink a drink, couple drinks of water, drink another drink, I'll be good. But it's those times that I just forget to drink water, especially, that's when I get into trouble. Because I don't drink that often. So when I do, I'm either really good about it, and I'm like very consistently drinking water, or I'm just a wild SJ. And it just happens. But it's fine. I didn't party a lot when I was younger, to be honest with you. I was very religious. And so I went to a Christian university, did not have like a sorority or anything like that. So I did not party in college. I didn't do a lot of drinking at all until I was in like my mid-20s. I'm in my mid-20s right now. Or am I? So yeah, it happens. But luckily I was around. That's the coolest thing. It's just like I always feel well taken care of. I always feel like, I'm in a safe place. Even though some shit's happened in the past, right? Like, we're aware that we may not know everyone, and not everyone has the best intentions. But the more I get the chance to hang out with Hexicans that I've met here and there, once or twice, and now, 3 or 4 times, it's like every meetup that we go to, it just becomes more, and I'm gonna cry. I was really, I feel like I've really been searching for that a lot in my life, for a long time, because I grew up knowing I was adopted, um, and my parents divorced when I was in high school, and then later on in life, I did end up meeting my birth mother and my birth father, but it's always, for me, like, my family has always been super fractal, right? Like I never family growing up. I mean, I love them to death. I have no regrets, and like, God bless my mom, right? Like, my mom who raised me just did what she could with what she had. You know, she took the best care of me. You know, my dad as well. Um, but I'm not. I'm not their blood. You know, it was crazy thing is they adopted me and got pregnant. They tried for 8 years to have a baby, adopted me, and then got pregnant right away, which happens a lot. So I have there's my sister who is their blood daughter, and like, that all makes sense. I was the wild child. I was just the crazy little black sheep running around, like, doing whatever I wanted, and so my family foundation has never been really strong. Like, I've never really felt like I belonged, even after I met my birth parents, who were never together, right? Um, it's always just kind of been, my friends have been my family for a long time. Like, um, and I don't have, I have a lot of acquaintances. I have a lot of good friendships. Um, but my, like, solid do or die, like, ride or die kind of friends, I've got a few. I've just got a few of them. But that's changing. That is honestly, like, meeting people who are Hexicans, because we have so much in common, right? Like, regardless of what kind of music you listen to, like, how you spend your free time or what your hobbies are, because we're a part of the Hexican community, like, there's that huge foundation that we get to stand upon and lift each other up from, right? And I love that. It is really, like, been the best. This has been the best year of my life, y'all. Hands down, 110%. I have never been happier. Never. Like, everything is going well. Yeah, of course I'm down, like, financially with what I sacrificed and what I invested. But when I did all that, I knew it was a gamble. Like, I did it because Kool-Aid done told you, y'all. And I listened a lot to Whale's Only One. They done told you, right? Like, you know what you hold, and you don't put more in than you can afford, right? So I'm doing audio voice work, in the meantime, while we're waiting for the bull market. And even then, like, I think I have a stake maybe coming out in the next year, which, of course, at the time when I started my staking ladder, I wouldn't have known. I didn't know. I mean, I knew there was a bull market and a bear market, but I don't think I knew at the time where we were in the cycle, and I probably would have changed some things. If I could go back and redo my staking ladder, I would have set my stakes out farther. But live and learn, right? Like, that's what we're here to teach each other, and to be examples for the people that are going to come after us into this community. Yeah, I am just rambling right now. I think I kind of talked about everything. Let me see how wild yesterday has been. Yeah, so I guess I'll talk a little bit about, let's think. I mean, I guess I kind of covered all this, but just to reiterate, the title of the title of my live stream, being in this bear market, being here, like, kind of at this bottom, and knowing that we have nowhere to go but up. I forget the term, but I've heard several other content creators talk about the fact that it's like a ratchet or a slingshot, right? And I see it so clearly. I just see this within Hex, right? Like, we're going down, right? We're going down. It's going down, right? Hex is going down. But that pressure, right? Like, pretend I'm pulling on a slingshot right now, and there's this rubber band, right? That pressure can only go up. to the right. Is this to the right? I can't tell on my screen if I'm doing that the right way. But we have nowhere to go but up, y'all. And I don't know if you got a chance to listen to Richard. I think he was in Spaces last night. I got to hear it this morning. But hearing him talk about how he doesn't want to wait a couple more months for the documentary. I know he's pushing that as hard as he can. He's done and is doing as much as he possibly can, right? Like, so much of this, nearly all of it, is out of his control, right? Like, he's not the producer. He's not the studio that's gonna, like pick up the documentary. He's not the developer. He is not developing, right? Pulse chain. You didn't know that, now you know. Richard Hart is, he's like the puppeteer. He's the one like pulling all the strings and like trying to get everything done. But at the end of the day, the puppet's gotta do something. That was probably a really bad analogy. Yeah. But basically at the end of the day, he's waiting just like we are on all of this. And I think the point that I keep trying to make about all this is that, like, so many Hexicans that I know that have been in Hex for a while, or even some that are newer but who understand it, like, we're just excited. Like, there's no FUD here. There's no FUD because we know what we hold and we know where we're going. And I'm about to build a shuttle to the moon. No, for real though. Let's talk about the shuttle. Let's talk about that. I'm excited. If you haven't seen it yet, I got a couple videos up on my page. I think I started a new playlist, and I'm gonna highlight that soon too. I am still working on SciVive. I have finished the editing. I would say I'm now at like 97% done with the editing of the text. What I'm going through right now is I'm going through, and you know how you can find and replace words? So there's 2 words that I'm struggling to make better, right? Because a lot of it is from Richard speaking. So 3. Okay, so stuff. The word stuff is in there so much, and we need to use real words instead of stuff. Thing and like. So I think I'm done with stuff. I think I went through the whole 500 pages and replaced stuff with real words anywhere that I could. And so now I need to do the same with the word thing and the word like. And I think there might be 1 or 2 more words, but it's really all to just make it more coherent, make it a lot more readable, and so that it reads more as a book and not just a conversation, like a one-sided conversation. Yeah. So I believe that I'm gonna do a little bit more just editing text-wise, and then as soon as that's done, I'm re-recording it, and yeah, and there'll be new audio, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be pristine because I took an audiobook recording class, and I learned how to take out any, mouth clicks, stuff like that, any like pops. So I'm gonna edit it really well so that it is able to be used on Spotify and Audible. All that to say, I'm giving myself until Christmas. I'm giving myself my own deadline because I'm terrible at deadlines. I'm not a good being my own boss person. I do not do schedules well. I'm not a very, like, it takes a lot for me to focus and for me to like be in a task for more than a couple hours. So that is my deadline. I want to have SciVive done by Christmas. So Merry Christmas to the Hexicans. That's what I'm hoping for. And also, because I'm starting a new project and I am wanting to do more of my own content again, that's another, like, it's lit the fire under my butt. I mean, not really, like, I feel kind of terrible because, like, Richard does know, like, how much, like, brain power he puts towards even knowing that I'm doing all this, I don't know, but he knows that it's happening. And every time he talks about SciVive, like, I feel terrible because I'm like, I've been working on this for almost a year, I think, and it should be done by now. But and that's doing it on and off and in different ways, and without having had the vocal coaching before. So I'm grateful that, you know, it's not like a thing where I'm, you know, like he's not really waiting for me to do it. There's no pay. There's no, you know, there's no none of that, which is another reason like it's slow going. But it's like such a passion project for me, and like hearing Richard anytime he talks about sci-fi, I'm just like, okay, I gotta finish this because, you know, I love that he's promoting it. I love that he's trying to bring more people to learn and to listen to him and to read his book. You know, he talks about that a lot. So I just really want this to be something that's, you know, top notch. It's, to be honest with you, as much of the work that I have done on this and have had other people help me on it, it's still not going to be a perfect book. It's not going to be grammatically correct everywhere. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be errors and typos even after the hundreds of hours that I've spent, like, you know, looking through everything and trying to make it look nice and work. I've had some people mention paying an editor, maybe to do like one pass through, and I don't know what that would look like or how much that would cost, or if there's anyone that we know that wants to do it. And I say that because I had several people volunteer to help me, and then several of those people were like, this is way too much work. I can't do this unless I'm being paid. And I'm not trying to call anyone out or anything like at all. And there were more than 3 or 4 people who that happened with, you know, so don't feel bad if you're one of them. Like, it's, you know, it's understandable. It's like, how many people can spend, you know, take hours out of their time to just help someone else write a book? So it's not, you know, it's not surprising. I gotta pat myself on the back. Even though it's really slow going, I know that it'll be appreciated, and I know that it's going to be something wonderful. I'm also kind of hoping that we can, I don't know how publishing is going to work. There's a couple people that I'm working with on that aspect of it as well, but I think it would be super cool if we did, and I want to like pitch this to Richard and just be like, what if we did one copy of Sci-Fi, like in a huge, like, what's that thing called? It's gonna escape my mind. I want to say the Gideon Bible, but that's not right. There's an old school Bible that's just like, you know, it's just like known for what it is, and it's got this like beautiful ornate cover. But I'm just thinking, like, what if we made it like a tome, like this huge sci-fi tome, and Richard put it in the museum, right? Like, I think that would be really cool. So, Richard, if you're watching, he doesn't watch me. Think about it. So yeah, that would be a lot of fun. All right, so sci-fi. So all that to say, that's where I'm at. That's why, you know, I'm excited about the shuttle project. It was gonna be the HEX bus at first, but the funny thing is, I was like, oh, you know, we should think of a cool name for it. Well, the funny thing is, it is actually a shuttle. It's a Ford F-350 passenger shuttle. So I can't think of a better way to describe it than it being the HEX shuttle, right? Like, I think we should maybe come up with a name for it too. I might do a Twitter poll. I want all of those little steps to be really community inclusive, right? Like, what's the name of the shuttle? What should the wrap look like? I think we're going to wrap like one side of it or one part of it, and then do like actual art on the other side of it. Yeah. And this is all still kind of up in the air because I haven't been in Austin, and the batteries were dead on the shuttle. So, but right before I left, I bought 2 batteries. Apparently, this shuttle takes 2 batteries. There's a battery for the engine, and then there's like a secondary battery somewhere, because it has its own air conditioning. And it's y'all. If I can get this thing to work, I'm just gonna HEX shuttle around the nation forever. Like, that's what this is for. It's to be a driving billboard for HEX, and to be able to take it to events, HEX events or any crypto, maybe even something non-related, right? Like I might take it to a burn if I start doing burner stuff, so that you're seeing it like everywhere you go. You see this hex. What is this HEX thing, right? I think that's it. I think grabbing cars. I still think it's a good idea. And then on top of that, I had this idea where on the side of the shuttle we can put figure out some cute, clever way to do it, but put some kind of mailbox or slotted thing where when I'm not driving, we can put postcards and business cards in it, so that anyone who sees the bus shuttle, anyone who sees the HEX shuttle, and then is interested or like, oh, what is this? What's this crypto? They can then just come over to the side and pull out a business card or pull out a postcard and then just take it with them, and they got all that information with them. So I have a lot of really great ideas for this. I'm really stoked that I got to showcase Chris Side Effects first as the first Hexican small business who is helping out with this project. And I'm really looking forward to showcasing more folks. I've had a good number of people reach out to me, and as soon as I figure out if this thing is going to be able to run well enough so that the bones are good enough for it to become the HEX shuttle to the moon, we're good. We're golden. But it's definitely going to be a slow going process. It's winter, so I can imagine it's going to be kind of tough here and there with the weather, depending on where I'm at, and getting it running. That's the first thing. So I will be back in Austin in like a week-ish, and that's what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to be checking out this shuttle, try to make sure that the batteries are working, make sure that it doesn't have anything else like mechanically wrong with it, and start to I think the next step after Chris Side Effects and I work on it mechanically, I'm going to be working a bit with Davin Eco Builder, who is in Georgetown, which is just north of me in Austin, and he has a lot of really great resources for and he knows there's also someone else in the community that he knows well that does this kind of carpentry and building and things like that. So I'm actually kind of excited to see how much work I can get done in Texas before I take it out to other people to do different other aspects of the build. And I'm also really looking forward to the story behind it, and hopefully, I really think that we have a good shot at onboarding people from the van life and DIY communities. I think that people are going to be really interested in watching this shuttle get built out, because it's a lot of people are going to search for Sprinter vans and I think the Econoline. There are certain vehicles that are used more than others, but I think just there are also a lot of things that are not unique to the vehicle, right? So just building a cabinet in a shuttle, installing a compost toilet, which is there's not much of it. You just put it in there, or installing a shower, in a shuttle. Different layouts. You can use the same kind of information, I suppose. So, if you're building a shower in a shuttle bus, it's not going to be much different than building a shower in a Sprinter van, because it depends on where you're placing it, right? There's going to be a lot of differing factors, but the actual building of the thing itself, I think that's going to be good content for anyone who's interested in doing the kind of van life, DIY, build your thing stuff. Hey, Maddie Allen, thanks for joining. Good to see ya. Yeah, thank you so much too. I need to go back. I'd love to go back and watch your broadcast and just see how everything went that day. I feel like, because I'm already, especially when I'm driving, I'm already like a little like loopy when I talk, and I got embarrassed because I remember like you asked me a question and then I like totally go off on a tangent. And I'd be like, wait, what were we talking about? I had definitely had a cup or two of champagne at that point, so I apologize if at any point I wasn't making sense, but it was great. It was just great to be there. I'm so grateful, Maddie, for you and doing your content. And I saw you mention that that you were thinking of doing it every day. I haven't had a chance to see if you still are, but I have a feeling you are. So good for you, man. Like I was talking earlier about how important it is that anyone who can stream does. Anyone who wants to starts, right? Because yeah, there are some people that have had to go for whatever reason, and like there's no judgment there. There's no like they can do what they want to do. Sorry, my sexy talk. Too sexy. They can do whatever it is that they want. And honestly, like, and this might come out weird, and I'm not trying to say this in a mean way, but it also opens up more room, right? If someone leaves that had a huge following, they're not streaming anymore, then that means that there's another door open for a different content creator to come in and maybe fill in that role. Like, who else could be as funny as Hexo? Maybe no one, but hey, maybe someone can. Like, maybe there are other people out there that have that same, like, really, charismatic way that he does. So, I just really want to continue to encourage everyone in every level right now, right? Like, I want to encourage, this car is going very slow. I want to encourage you to, in fact, we're going to do this together right now. Take deep breaths. Ready? Get that oxygen flowing. There's a content creator that I follow. His name is Ralph Smart, and I love his vibe. He does that on his streams, and he goes, breathing in that good ass prana, breathing in that good ass energy. I love it. So that's what we're doing. We're breathing in all the goodness, and that's where it has to start. If you're not bodily, like physically feeling fine and safe, then it's going to be so much more difficult to feel mentally, financially, socially, emotionally well and safe. And it's important that we take time out to slow down, especially in the bear market, right? Like that's kind of the crazy thing to me is like we should be hibernating in a way, right? And I don't mean that in that we should stop talking about things or doing things, but if this kind of volatility, if this dip, if those things stress you out, turn it off. Like, if that's something that you just feel like you can't handle because for whatever reason, right? Like maybe you're just not like feeling well physically, and that will, perpetuate and bring up other things emotionally, then step away from social media, step away from watching the charts and things like that. Take a breather, take a break, even if it's like making new habits where you don't check all that first thing in the morning, right? Maybe like set some kind of standard or set yourself up where you have a half an hour. And if you can't do a half an hour, 5 minutes, 30. There was a time in my life where I wanted to meditate more, and I don't. But when I do, or when I think again to myself, like, hey, that's something that I should reinstill, and not even like, and I use meditate in like a grand word, right? Not the just sitting down, clear your mind meditation, especially after reading Sci-Vibe. I like the way Richard talks about it, in that you should play with your thoughts, right? Like, don't necessarily think of nothing, but have that time to sit and be with your thoughts. But what I was getting to is that I read somewhere or heard somewhere, just start with 30 seconds. If you can just do 30 seconds of mindfulness, I guess that's a better way to put it, mindfulness. Spend 30 seconds being mindful in the morning. Take 3 deep breaths. That won't take you more than 30 seconds. But just tune into yourself and who you are and your sovereignty and what you're up to. Go. People are breaking in the fast lane, y'all. Sorry, hold on. I'm being a safe driver. Okay, so it's super important, and that's again why I want to get back to doing my streams, because I miss it, and I really do feel like, and I've had comments. I've had some people, comment that they miss anytime I do stream. I've seen people say like, "Hey, we miss you. We miss your positivity," and that warms my freaking heart. And it also it lights fire under my ass, because I do know that that's what I bring to this community in a way, is positivity. Like, that's what I'm about. You're not going to see me talking about drama or FUD or coins, for that matter. That's just not that's just not who I am. Or the price even. Because to me, it's all about that sci-fi mentality. It's all about longevity and building community. So I look forward to being back on your regularly scheduled programs. I'm gonna say that'll be my goal for January. Once Sci-Vibe is done, I think that's gonna be. I'll be in a good spot. I'll be able to really fully focus on doing my own content instead of working on Sci-Vibe, which I love, and is also still gonna be a part of my content. But in so much that I'm gonna continue the Sci-Vibe Sunday streams, talking to people about Sci-Vibe and all that. So yeah, but I can't wait. I want to go back to doing Sci-Vibe Sundays. Maybe I'll mix it up, right? Maybe 2 streams. I'll like like maybe do 1 stream on Wednesday. Like a stream on Wednesday, and then a stream the next Sunday. Like do 1 stream a week, but like change it between the Wednesday streams and the Sunday streams. Or if I have enough time and energy, I could do 2 a week. I could do it. But yeah, so going back to Wellness Wednesdays and Women Crush Wednesdays, those I think I'm going to kind of flip back and forth, because I started doing the Wellness Wednesdays when my Woman Crush Wednesday guest didn't show up or something like that. But I think especially now, like at this time and over the next couple months, wellness is going to be important, and bringing that positivity. And I actually have I've written down a few things in a journal that I want to touch on. Like the first one I'm going to do is de-stress. We're going to talk about how to de-stress, because stress it affects us in way more ways than we ever could realize. I don't think people understand what a life killer stress is. Literally, it kills you. And listening to these longevity podcasts I've been listening to lately, and even Joe Rogan, listening to him talk, that is just something I hear over and over again, is that stress is killing us. And really, we, again, going back to being Hexican, if you know what you hold, no stress, no reason. There's no reason for distress or to FUD. None. Okay? So I'm going to end it with that. I appreciate y'all for sticking it out with me. I love when I have any number of people who watch me rant for an hour. Y'all are the real MVPs. I appreciate you a bunch. I don't talk about it that often, but especially with the shuttle stuff, and there's more content coming, right? But if you feel so inclined as to want to help out, especially with the shuttle project, and you're like, oh, I can't build anything, but hey, here's some gas money. Check out my Patreon. I'm going to start using Patreon a lot more, and I'm going to be giving content. And it's kind of silly, right? Because I know that the value that I add to this community is very different than what many other people bring to the table. And it's not necessarily, not everyone is going to find value in my content. Like, it's not a crypto world, kind of thing. It really is a very specifically Hexican Sci-Vibe. Like, that's what I do. But with the shuttle, And with the wellness stuff, I'm hoping to really like expand, like to open that up, and provide better, more. I guess with the shuttle, it would be educational content in terms of like, the DIY, like how to do stuff. Anyways, that's all. That's all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and share this out. I do want. That's one thing that I want to like push. Like I'm not going to tell you too much about subscribing to Patreon or following me or subscribing, but I know that there are people who need to hear more positivity. So please share this. Share this stream. Be like, hey, if you're down in a bear market, listen to a little bit of what SJ's got to say, and calm yourself. Calm yourself. We are all gonna make it. We're all gonna make it. Wacky. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Press the buttons.